stopping anti-Semitism, while at the same time the funding of certain agencies which have that responsibility is being cut dramatically. The Office of Civil Rights in the U.S. Department of Education is reportedly under the new administration no longer opening cases based on complaints from students like Ms. Solomon and families of anti-Semitism on campus. Instead, they're focusing on so-called directed investigations ordered by the new administration. Employees have said that they've been told not to communicate with students, families, and schools involved in cases launched by the previous administration, with the exception of disability-related claims, and to cancel scheduled meetings and mediations. The funding of this Office of Civil Rights is critical, and it's not been adequately funded for a long time, despite opening a number of Title VI investigations about anti-Semitism since the October 7th, 2023 terrorist attack in Israel. So it comes down to this. If we're going to close down diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is not only proactive but also reactive to discrimination, if we are going to underfund the Office of Civil Rights, we can have these hearings every week. In fact, we can have them twice a week. And the obvious question is, who's going to litigate the claims that are made of anti-Semitism on campus or anywhere else? If you truly want to stop anti-Semitism, you at least have to leave open the possibility that there be some way to litigate your case. Ms. Solomon, have you seen this experience?
Yes, I have seen this experience across campus. The fear for Jewish students to now report and be able to access avenues of advocacy, to be able to advocate for themselves on college campuses, whether they face anti-Semitism on the right or the left, has been severely harmed by this current administration.
Mr. Rockland?
I couldn't agree with Ms. Solomon more. The data shows as of last year, before the new administration had decided to stop funding and starting to investigate whether or not the Department of Education should exist, there was a 50-to-1 caseload in terms of 50 cases per one investigator at OCR. The office has consistently been underfunded and is consistently up for cuts by Congress. One of the things that I have been talking about and pushing more than anything else is this was a bill last Congress called the Showing Up for Students Act that was introduced by your colleague, Mr. Casey, and Mr. Goldman on the House side. And all this would do would be to increase the amount of money to go to OCR so that they can adequately have the funding to continue these investigations. I think without OCR in this space, things get very dangerous. And while it's languishing in purgatory, more and more cases continue to build up.
So the point of this inquiry is basic. If we all agree on the premise that anti-Semitism should be stopped, where do you go to stop it? If the new administration believes it shouldn't be the Department of Education, even some have called for abolishing that department, and it shouldn't be the Office of Civil Rights, where do you turn? You can't have it both ways. You can't declare that this is wrong and we need to stop it, we need to give due process and a day in court to those who are aggrieved, and then shut down on your funding and your philosophy the venues that are important for this to happen. That to me just seems so obvious. I can't follow the thinking on that. So I hope that we can resolve that. Let me yield at this point because I have to go vote to Senator Lee.
Thank you. Thank you very much.